Hi, good afternoon everybody, hope you're well. Looks like the weather's changing, as you can tell from my outfit. I've got all my layers on today. So this is a continuation of the videos I've been doing for the newsletter, talking about the movement of the backswing, setting up the downswing. So we've been talking about making the turn more focused on a turn, centered turn, as opposed to a sway, which then a small amount of sway is always going to happen, but we're looking for exaggerated sways that can destroy posture or make it harder to create a powerful downswing, therefore being very inconsistent on how you deliver the club face to the ball, which obviously then has a big bearing on how easy it is to send the ball straight. So what we're doing is trying to build ideas for you to go away and work on. It's very hard when obviously I'm just speaking generally to everybody, but these are sort of principles that you can go home on the range and start to look out for and ask the question, what's your style and how you're working? So just to recap, it was on the centering of the backswing, and then we started to look at last week how on the downswing we might start to create, if you like, a pull. So we create rotational power, if you like, then looking to begin to unwind by moving towards the target before then completing the rotation, and even some people have some vertical movement. So I thought this week I'd touch on some fun ideas and different ways for you to start exploring, experimenting practically some of these ideas. So first of all though, we better check out how can you move, because sometimes, certainly after this big layoff, we might be quite stiff, shall we say, but sometimes you just need to practice. So if you take a normal stance and normal posture, the two things that become valuable in the backswing is, can we rotate our upper body almost independently of our lower half? So a little bit what we call separation, or actually disassociation. So let's have some goes. I'll take you through a whole host, so not so much talking, and I want you to go and practice and see how you can get on and see how it impacts the ability for you to deliver the club to the ball more consistently, more powerfully. So here we go. So upper body separation. I always know with myself, a bit tight on this side. So I do it a fair few times to start loosen up, then the lower half. So if you don't do that, it's the ability that you need to practice it, for one, to train the brain, but it could be just a little bit of imbalance. With some practice you'll address it. The reason being though, when I'm making my backswing, this is turning more than this and I have stability here, but also on the downswing I need to start being able to engage my core and go this way rather than maybe with my dominant right side or trail side, and start moving from here. Sometimes though I feel that it's just balance. We don't always know, we haven't even thought, we're so wired into our hands and the club face, we don't quite know what's going on down here. So some tubing, or you can even just get a towel and wrap it up. And the idea is, if I stand on it, what I'm going to do is destabilize myself. So if we make a few swings feeling a bit unstable, I'll try it with this, hopefully you can see from the camera angle, but if it's a bit unstable, it's trying to throw me off. So suddenly my brain's really hunting for some ground feeling, okay? And I can feel now I'm having to work harder. So there's nothing to think of here. It's actually just to create a little bit of instability. So when we get rid of that, you're going to feel very anchored to the ground, and you'll be able to go hunting for much more feel down here using the ground. So suddenly I feel stronger, that I can use my lower half maybe more than my upper half. So there's an idea to go and practice. If you don't have anything like that, all I suggest is that you just move your feet left, right, left, right. This is a great loosener. Turn, stamp, and then release. So it goes something like this. And you might be able to see there's lots of movement rather than up and then down and then through. It's almost more like I'm going this way and I start to stamp that way, and that's what starts to become important in terms of having some pull going into the swing, as I mentioned last week. Slightly different sensation for many people I work with. Sometimes you can go one step further and you can start using elastics. So myself, I know myself, I get a little bit slidey. So what I do, I attach this to the door frame, which is trying to pull me. So I'm having to learn to, I'm taking the place of the door frame. I'm having to learn to not go with, but post up and use this leg differently. So there's a couple of things you can do. You can attach this to door frames and utilize it to create body pull. Okay, so using the elastic. This is physiotherapy tubing. Sometimes you can do it where you step through and then you could lift it over and around into shoulders, so it creates a diagonal pattern. So you can feel if I was to sway off, this tension changes, but also it helps me to get the feeling of what it's like to pull through. So have a little explore with these different ideas. So some separation, some disassociation, some balance. Okay, so when you don't do that in your normal swing, you'll see that suddenly you'll feel a bit more stable and powerful in those legs. And then if you can start becoming a little bit more dynamic. So a couple of ideas, we could take a backswing like so, and then to start, try and fire and start rotating to create the release, rather than trying to be too much dominant through here. So I'll show you. So we make a big backswing, and then it's more stamp and go. Ready? A big backswing, ready? Use these legs. Okay? Or practice the stamping and turning. Okay? So there's a few little ideas there just to have a go while we're faced with some slightly better weather, and you might want to practice in the garden. But keep an eye out on some of the TV as well. You might start to see this swing. So if you've got any questions, please do direct message me. I hope you enjoyed these videos. I'll keep doing them. But we might be getting to a point now where you want to start sending me some questions, and I'll start answering some of your queries about the swing, or whats or ifs or shoulds. So all the best. Keep going. We're not long, hopefully now, till spring and reopening, and I've enjoyed doing these videos, so I'll see you again soon. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.